Saturday. I know that I am. It is 8 o'clock here. It's very early. And the weekend, it's getting off to a good start, I'd say. It hasn't been a bad start. I have spent the morning before I started streaming working on the map because, and I'm not talking about a map of the game. I'm talking about a map of the world in which the game takes place. And I'm going a little overboard with it, but I'm enjoying this work. I'm enjoying what's happening. So if I kind of just show you up here, on the left-hand side, obviously, is the world in which our game takes place, right? St. Aveline. And then to kind of get a sense of how big this world is, you can overlay a map of the United States. So if you look, or not the United States, but of our world, of the Earth. And as you can see, there's not a lot of land in this world. I mean, the total land masses are probably about equivalent to just South America and Africa. So it's not a whole lot, but it gives you a good idea of the scale of everything. And then the game that we're talking about, the game St. Aveline, in which this takes place, of course, takes place on this little island here, which is actually really big. When you look at the scale of this map. So if we bring the map of the Earth back, you could say that, let's see, that island, St. Aveline, is probably about the same size as some Caribbean island. Is that, that's like Jamaica, right? Where let me do the mouse highlighter. That's much smaller, or that's much bigger than what I want St. Aveline to be, right? So it's like, you look over here and it's like, you get a kind of an idea of the scale. Like, what other island? Like, about the size of this island here. I believe that's near Equatorial Guiana. Actually, it's a little bit bigger. Where is that? That is, if I look over here on the actual Earth map, this island here. What island is that? That is the island of... I was pretty sure that this island was off the coast of Equatorial Guiana. Is it? Yeah, Equatorial Guiana. And I think that's where the capital is, or maybe Sao Tome. That's actually the capital. So St. Aveline is even bigger than this island. What is it? Bioko Sur. I've never heard of this island, but I'm a little intrigued. Let's look it up. So Bioko Sur. Let's just look at it on maps, on regular maps. See, the problem is I love maps, and so I've been building a map of this entire of where our game takes place. I've just been building the world. I'm trying to get an idea of how big this island is. So this is the island of Bioko, I guess. Bioko Island. Okay, that's good. I like the way that map I was just looking at. I like the way. Okay, so is this Portuguese? Bioko is okay. Let's actually look at the Okay, it's an island of Equatorial Guiana, which is the only Spanish-speaking country in Africa, if you didn't know. Bioko. Okay, so let's see. Area. So it is about 779 square miles. Let's compare that to Gorée Island in Senegal. Gorée Island, Senegal. All right. And the reason I want to compare that is, like, I went to Gorée Island back in February, I think it was February, March. And I remember we had to take a ferry out to Gorée Island. And I remember approaching Gorée, and I remember thinking, like, wow, this would be like the ideal size for St. Aveline. Like, this is the size that, like, because it's a small island, but it still is big enough for a beach. But now that I look back on it, Gorée might have been a little too small. So Gorée Island is not even a single square mile. So we had Bioko, which is 779. Okay, so let's stick with land masses that I know. So St. Helena. So if we look at, I just want to see what the square, because St. Helena was actually a surprisingly big island. So that has 47 square miles. So something between St. Helena and Gorée. I'm trying to think of what other islands I have been to. Like what other, I mean, like, but then you have big, like Tahiti's big, Fiji's huge. I've been to the Falkland Islands, not the Falklands, I'm sorry, the Faroe Islands. I would like to go to the Falkland Islands. I was just talking about them yesterday. Was I talking? I think I was talking about them on stream, but I was just talking about the Falklands. Like I would love to go to the Falklands. Okay, so the Faroes are actually several islands, and I mean, you can drive to most of them. There are certain islands you have to take a ferry to, but the island I stayed on was in Tórshavn, which is the capital of the Faroe Islands. So this is the island. What's the name? What's the island? Okay. Let's see. What is the name of the island on which and they always, the way they pronounce it, how do you pronounce it? Like the way they pronounce it looks nothing like it's spelled, is located. So the name of the island is in Stramoy. I thought that might be the case because I saw it like right here, not there. I saw it, no, not there either. But I swear to you, I saw it. Okay. Area of island. Let's see. Okay. So that's even bigger. 144 square miles. I didn't realize that that island was that big. Okay. So we're going to do something a little different, because like the dream of like I know this has very little to do with the game and doesn't really add anything to the game, but the dream for me in terms of like this map project is to be able to just kind of easily edit, or not easily, but be able to edit something either in QGIS or Visual Studio, however I'm doing it, just make a change and then just commit it, push it, it gets published to the website, right? And it gets published. And let me load up a good boy browser. And like I am a part of the way there, honestly. Like I have accomplished quite a bit to that end goal. So if you go to Yanorra, Yanorra, Yanorra.world, you'll see this little like wiki page that I'm setting up for the world. Again, adds very little, if nothing, to the game, but I don't care. I'm enjoying creating this world. And there is a little about that kind of explains what this wiki page is. And like the wiki page is, because in the game, in the world game, like you have like an internet system in the game, right? Because I always think of it as like that, like in the game, their society has like technology roughly equivalent to like what we would think of as like the 1980s, like the early 80s, late 70s, right? So you had computers, you had some kind of online systems. I mean, those didn't really come about until the late 80s, early 90s, but whatever. And this talks about how like this wiki page is from the point of view of somebody in that world, right? And so anyway, I forget what the point of that was. So if I want to go to St. Avelin, now this is all a very, very rough website. So this does not, but the dream is that I'm able to like edit something and then it just gets, and this is the web, when I say it gets published to the website, this is the website of which I'm talking about. So let's do a conceptual change. And I'm actually going to reduce the size of St. Avelin. So like if I come over here, I've learned a lot about QGIS lately, and it's actually a really neat tool. If you like making maps, I would recommend you learn QGIS. Just learn some basics of it, and it starts to come together pretty quickly. Now, it is a very powerful program, and there's still tons of features that I have no idea what they do. So that is that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, so Gorée Island was like less than a square mile. So maybe, and then how big was St. Helena? Let me go back to the Naughty Boy browser. Actually, let me close the Naughty Boy browser. Yeah, give me a second here. Okay, so St. Helena was 47 square miles. Okay, I'm going to close the Naughty Boy browser. So if we think, I'm going to say St. Avelin would be roughly 10 square miles, right? So let's see let's see how big it is here right now. I know there is another way to do this, but I'm just going to use a measuring tool. And then so measure, I'm going to measure the area, right? And so all you have to do here is just draw a polygon essentially. And then it'll tell you how big the area is. And it doesn't have to be exact, right? We're just trying to get an idea. Okay, so in miles, kilometers, feet, yards, miles, and in square miles. So right now, St. Helena is 2,394 square miles. And I'm just curious. I want to compare that to, let's see, show me, okay, list any islands that are roughly 2,500 square miles in size, in area size. The Prince of Wales, I don't know any of these islands. Silpe Island, Prince of Wales Island, which is, oh, okay, so it's in Alaska. Let's take a look at it. So it's part of the okay, so it's down by Juneau. It's a big island. I mean, I've never been there, but I can see that it's a big island. Okay, so it's much bigger. And we said we want like 20. So we have to reduce this significantly. All right. So the way we're going to do that, and this is a little QGIS tutorial for anybody that's that is curious. So I spent some time, I've spent a fair amount of time trying to get the layers within QGIS of something that makes sense, right? And it's difficult because you need to have your base layer, and then there's all kinds of layers that kind of come off of that, like states and biomes and stuff like that. And I'll show you what I mean. So because right now what we're looking at is we're looking at the state layer, and by state you mean nation, because you can see like nation borders. We also have things like transportation routes that are up and viewable, but we can hide those. We'll just hide the labels in general. And then urban is for maps, because I mean, again, I'm a little crazy with this, but there's certain cities, there's two where you can actually zoom in and view like a road map. I know it's a little extra, as somebody would say. It's a little extra. Yes, it is a little. Oh, come on. So I think there's only 2 cities where you can actually zoom in right now. But again, the goal is to just like casually be able to like zoom in or to casually just add a city or 2 and then kind of come back to it. So anyway, but we're going to hide that for now. We're going to hide urban. We're going to hide all the labels. And basically the only thing we want to look at right now is geography. And you can see I have the states layer on, but you can also, you can view by biomes, which I think takes a minute to render. Biomes are basically the type of land. Is it a desert? Is it a desert? Is it a desert? And then of course we have the height layer, which it's very jumpy, right? It's like because you have one section that's like 10 meters high and then another section that's 1,000. There's no gradient there. Anyway, so but the main thing that we want to just look at is we can turn the rivers on and off. We can turn the lakes on and off. Well, the lakes doesn't really do anything. Okay, it does. Okay, but the main thing we want to do is we want to reduce the size of this island here, because this is, after all, St. Helena. I forget where yeah, there it is. So we need to reduce it about 10 times. So we're going to go to the cells. So what I want you to do is this is going to be, I'm doing this live. So this is going to be a good test. Okay. So we're going to look at the map. We're going to look at how big it is. Let's look at the world map that we have online. This is live on the website, right here. Okay. So we're going to try and reduce this. All right. So first we want to make sure. So everything under this generated layer is generated from this cell smooths layer. The cell smooths, that is kind of like the, it's kind of like the source of all the land layers. And then we know the city's somewhere down here. So I don't think it really matters too much because we can always move it. So now we first have to again, QGIS is extremely powerful, but you need to know the basics at least. Turn on editing mode and then turn on vector editing mode, right? So now you can see that everything like highlights a little bit. And all I'm going to do basically, I am going to I'm going to select this. Okay. And then I'm just going to modify this a little like that. Put that in here. Actually, I mean, it needs to be even smaller, right? Because this is a small... oh, shit. No. Okay. All right. It's quiet because I got to concentrate, right? You know, because you're playing God here. You're basically just you're generating land. Excuse me. Okay. And then, you know, you can zoom in and add more little vectors. You can grab by the middle. I mean, we know the rough shape of the island, but like we got to like smooth these edges a little bit. And I just normally do that just by kind of just pulling and pushing a little. So just going to do that a little bit more. But again, the end goal here is to reduce the size of the island, save the changes, and hope for the love of God that they get published to the website automatically. Not quite automatically. I mean, it's all set up and it's all you know, it's all triggered to do that. But let's see. Come over here. And again, there's really no map I'm conforming to. I'm just... All right, we're going to stick with this for a minute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit edit mode. And then it'll save that. But I'm going to measure the area again. Naughton, is this a software you are making? No. This is QGIS. This is a world that I'm making for a video game that I'm making. But this software, I'm not making this software. I mean, if you're talking about the IDE that I'm using right now, no, this is an old open source project. It was written in C++ with using the Qt libraries. I know that because I recognize it because I've used Qt a lot throughout the years. And I'm like, I remember loading up this app and being like, wait, is this Qt? And then it kind of dawned on me like, oh, well, it's using QGIS, Q package, Q this, Q that. So yes, it's written with Qt. Anyway, so I want to measure the area again. So let's see, because I remember I'm trying to get the area down to around 20 square miles. So let's see where we're at. Just going to kind of hug the coast a little bit. Don't have to be too exact about it. Okay, square miles. All right, we're at 39. We're at 39. So let's trim off a little bit more. But not too much more. I mean, we're doing pretty well. So let's just bring it in, really. Just bring it in. Okay. And really, I also got to remember that 39 was a little more than it actually is because I was measuring an area outside of the borders. So, but anyway, let's just bring this in a little bit. Now, there's probably a way where I can say, hey, this polygon, measure the area, but I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Again, QGIS is an extremely powerful software. I just have no idea how to use 95% of the features. All right, here we go. I am currently making a game in Godot that will require land generation, both islands and mainland, and we use a game based around shipping and transporting cargo, but I don't know if this would be the right software. No, this wouldn't be the right software for it. So give me a second. give me a second. Let me do this, and I'll explain what we're looking at. Well, okay, I'll just show you. Okay, so I am writing a game. I don't like to say I, because it's a team. It's a team effort, right? But if you look in the description of this video, all these links are there. But we've been writing a game called Saint Aveline, right? And it's been in the works forever. My buddy Matthew, my buddy Not Sure, you know, they're sometimes here in the stream, but we've been working on this game. This game is using Unity. And because it's using Unity, we are to the terrain portion of it. And I'll load it up now, and we can look, because we're actually going to work on the game too today. But so there is this game called Saint Aveline, and it takes place on this island in a fictional world. Okay. And then and again, you can go to the website if you're curious about the story and like what the game is. Although we still don't know what the game is. Anyway, but just keep in mind, Saint Aveline is the name of an island on which the game takes place, and it's called Saint Aveline. But Saint Aveline, obviously being a fictional island, takes place in a fictional world. Now, this is where my autistic OCD kind of like can't sit still ADHD brain just kind of goes wild, because so I have the game, Saint Aveline, which takes place on this island, which is in this world, this fictional world. So in my mind, I start creating lore basically for this fictional world. And so I'm creating all this lore for the fictional, I'm typing some of it out. I'm trying to organize some of it. And then I personally, ever since I'm an old man now, but ever since I was a kid, I have loved maps. I remember being 5 years old. I'm old, so this was before the internet. This was before you would just hand an iPad to your kid and let him go watch, satanic cartoons for 2 hours. But I remember sitting on the toilet with the encyclopedia, like an actual book, right? Like an encyclopedia book. It was kind of like they had taken Wikipedia and printed it out. Anyway, but I remember sitting on the toilet as a kid, looking at all the maps, all them, and oh, look at that place, Barrow, Alaska. That's so far north. Oh, Greenland. I wonder what it's like in Greenland. Oh, Antarctica. But I was fascinated with maps. And then, of course, I started making my own worlds, just drawing them out by hand. So when I started writing this game, of course, that kind of that world creation part of my brain, which has always been there, and a lot of people do world creation, it's a fun hobby, just kind of went crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I build upon this world in which this video game takes place? And so I started distilling things down into a website. And so that is how we came to Yanorra, YANORRA.world, Yanorra.world. And so I've only been working on this for maybe 6 months. So there's a lot of missing links and shit that just doesn't work. But again, going back to what I was saying, I love maps. I freaking love maps. I don't know why that looks so bad. What's going on here? Sample country. All right, I don't know where that label's coming from. Anyway, so I love maps. So I have been working on I've just been working on code that allows me to edit a map in this software called QGIS. QGIS is basically professional. I don't know how, it's a professional map making software. I believe it's what OpenStreet uses for a lot of their work. So it's a very, very powerful map making software, but it can be frustrating because sometimes when you're making maps, and I'll get to your question in a minute, I started here with this fantasy map generator, which is great because it's just okay, I just want to draw a couple of shapes and then label them, and then boom, there's my world. And that, and if you're a D&D master or something like that, perfect tool. Because this, Asgar's map generator is awesome because it allows you to do things like create mountains, and you can look at the height map, and there's all kinds of things you can do in this, but there are also limitations to it. So I've been building this world in QGIS. And so just to kind of if I zoom out of what we were just looking at, this is the world, this is the continents and everything. So anyway, that's kind of where this is. But to get to your question in terms of is this a software for building a map for your game? the answer is more than likely no, it's not, because this is not really for building like in-game worlds. It's not really for building like terrain. You really want something like either a modeling software or something that's built into the game engine. I'm not familiar with Godot. I assume that Godot probably has some terrain editor, but I honestly don't know. I mean, Unity does. I know that, but the only reason I know that is because I like Unity is the game engine I'm most familiar with. It's really the only one I'm familiar with. But anyway, hopefully that is a long-winded answer to your question. Hopefully it answers your question. Wait, so all maps like Google Maps, OpenStreet are hand drawn? No, they're not. No. I'm not saying they're hand drawn. I'm saying that they all have tools, right? Because like if you go to like if I just go to a map, right? So no, the shapes more than likely are not hand-drawn. They are, I'm sure, derived from data collected by satellite images, by cars and things like that. However, there has to be some piece of software that takes that data and can layer it and give it options. And then like, okay, well, you know, for Meadowland Lane, I want the label to be like, look how it changes colors. I want the label when it's at this zoom level, I want it to be dark. But then when you zoom in more, I want it to be light. Or, you know, I want the label for Middleton Lane to follow the curve of the road. So there's all these little things. So is it hand drawn? No. But is there manual editing of some of the data? Absolutely. And it might be layout data. It might be logic that dictates how things and where things get drawn. But in order to do those things, you need some tool, right? You need some tool where you can actually program it to say, change colors when you're at this zoom level. Or like, I mean, just look at little things like how the thickness of this road is going to change as I zoom out. Like things like that have to basically be told to be done. And that's done through various tools. QGIS is one of those tools that allows you to do a lot of those types of things. So anyway, that's what I was getting at. Okay. So what we were doing is, wait, what happened? Oh, okay. So what we had done is we had edited. What happened to my changes? I was talking so much, bitch. Where do my changes go? Oof. Okay, there it is. Okay, so if I activate this states layer, it's going to show the old thing because I haven't generated the other layers yet. So it's reflecting the old layers. So if we go back into this, okay, so let's see, we go over here, zoom to layer. All right, so St. Aveline, this little tiny dot. What did we have for area? I was talking so much that I neglected to see where we were in terms of area. Let's measure again, and let's hug the coast a little bit more. I want to see if we get closer to that 20 some odd square mile mark. And that one edge looks too smooth. Like I said, I'm sure there's a way to do this. Yeah, you can kind of do it like that. Miles. So 22 square miles. Okay, I think this is good. All right, so now I got to remember how the rest of this works. All right, because now things have to be generated. It should just generate, shouldn't it? Huh. Let me do this. Okay, an update. No, that's fine. Oh, my stars and garters. Is this not working? Now, I think I did see some error where it was saying like the Python tools were not installed. So most of the work that I do on this is on my Mac. Yeah, see, it's still drawing the old shape. Okay. but I'm pretty sure I have an action. Where is it? No, not there. So I have a macro. Yeah. So basically, derived, rebuild, derived. Oh. It's not running. Cells smooth. I see that you have a repo for it open. Is that recommended? I'm always scared of people stealing projects. I think I mean, like, I get you. I get it. I definitely get it. But it's like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I can't think of a good analogy. I would just say that the benefit outweighs the risks, right? Because the benefit is hopefully your project will resonate with some people, will resonate with other developers, and they'll be interested. Might you have a bad actor that kind of comes in and just forks your repo and then kind of goes off on their own? Yes. The possibility is there. I think that is a very low possibility, because I think with programmers, a lot of people, they kind of want to do things their way, and like, you have an idea of how you want to design this project, and like, you and I might, like, you know, okay, you write let's each write a program that does X, Y, and Z, and we might have completely different approaches to it. Neither one is wrong, neither one is right, you know, but we might have completely different approaches to it. And it's like, I think a lot of programmers, if they want to like take over a project by just forking a repo and stealing it, I don't think a lot of programmers are going to do that, because then I don't know. Maybe that's just my, oh wait, hold on one sec. I don't know. I have, if you look at my personal repo, if you go to github.com/Zethon, Zethon, I have over 100 repos, and not a one's ever been stolen. Now, do I have a lot of successful projects? Not really, no. So, but still, I mean, and then also, you can license, right? Sorry, I'm going to eat while I'm streaming. My wife just brought me a breakfast sandwich. Like, let's say with this game, let's say somebody forks it and then they publish it and it makes $1 million. I do have recourse. Because just because it's open source doesn't mean it's free to use however you want. It doesn't mean it's free to steal. There is a license, and there's requirements with that license that basically say you can't steal this and publish it on your own and expect me to get nothing. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. So I can't say there is no risk that like you get screwed over. Of course, there's always a chance. I just think it is extremely, extremely, extremely low. So but in the benefit of having people come in and that are interested in your project and being able to submit their own work, I mean, you control it as the owner. Like, people, let me see. Do I have any open pull requests? These are all by, oh wait, no. Oh, this guy, I still got to look at his pull request. But this is a great example where this is an open source project and I needed something done. And I think I mentioned it on a stream where like, I wanted a drag and drop type of user UI. And this guy just did it. And like he did, I remember looking at this a while ago and he did a good job at it. And so the point is like, people will help you, and you can also learn from that help. Like, I remember I worked with this guy a long time ago, and this was before I was the boss. And The boss at the time said that he was basically going to start requiring code reviews for merges into master, which is a very standard practice, very, very standard. But this was like 2014, and we hadn't been doing that. It was just kind of willy-nilly. And this guy that I worked with, I thought it was interesting because this guy that I'm talking about, he was kind of known in the company as the rock star. Like, if you wanted something done, you go to this guy. Like, this guy, he knew everything. He was the guy. He was the guy. And I remember talking to him, like, after we were told that we were going to have to start getting reviews. And he was like, I don't like him. I don't like him. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I just don't want people just like, criticizing my code or something like that. And I was like, I love it because it's a way to learn. I love it because if I'm doing something and if there's a better way to do something, I want to know. Like, my ego isn't, this was this guy's problem. His ego was fucking huge. And it's like, but my ego is like not so big that I think I can't learn from other people. So anyway, Matthew, I've already taken St. Aveline and turned it into $1 million product on the weekend. Don't tell. Well, good. I'm glad. I can't wait to play I can't wait to play it. Okay. All right. Just had to pay attention over there for a second. Let me eat my breakfast sandwich before, well, no, there's an issue here because basically everything should get rebuilt when I modify this cell smooth layer. We're gonna hack this. It's not okay. So like, let me modify it. Let's just try it one more time. Right? I'm just going to literally just move. Oh, wait. I gotta put it in edit mode. Okay, we're in edit mode. All right. Do the vector editing, and just literally just do this. All right. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to take. Now, when I take it out of editing mode, it should. Did it regenerate? It should have regenerated. No, it didn't regenerate. Okay, so. Okay, here's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to go to properties, and okay, it's taking its sweet time. So you can see here that I have two things. I have two things that get done every time you save the project. I rebuild the data, which is rebuild this generated layer, and then I export the data files. I commented out rebuild the. I think I commented it out because I didn't need it every single time. But what we're going to do is we're going to comment it in. We're going to press OK. Now QGIS is a little. When you have macros attached, I've learned this, that when you have macros attached to a project, before the macros actually take effect, before they'll actually get kicked off, you have to reload the project. So let's close it. Let's open it. And here's the other thing I want to do. I want to load up Explorer. Okay, so maps QGIS, and then there's a folder, I think it's called layers generated. And then, so the timestamps on these are from 5:10. So I'm hoping I'm going to make a small change to the project, and then I'm going to save it, and I'm hoping that those timestamps change. Let's see what happens. Security warning. Oh, it's telling me Python. It's telling me that, okay, macros are not enabled. Oh. Why is this so small? Okay. All right, I know what's going on. Give me a sec. Okay. What's happening is QGIS, you can attach these actions to it that get triggered at certain times. In this example, I had an action triggered that when I saved the project, I want some custom actions to happen. One of those actions is to generate these .json files. But because Windows is a pussy, what's happening is the files that it's trying to generate already exist inside of this project. So I'm just trying to, like, you can see here, like this, the one we're talking about is states, right? This states layer is a layer attached to a file called states.geojson. The actions are trying to generate states.geojson. On Mac and on Linux, this is not a problem because you can actually, unless the file is open with exclusive access, you can write to it, even while it's open by another program. On Windows, however, Windows is like, whoa, you can't do that, man. Don't even try to do that, man. And so Windows is saying, like, hey, I know you want to create this states.geojson file, but like, this guy already has it open, and it just so happens that this guy is the same guy as the program giving me the error. So the way to fix this is to do it on my Mac. That's the way to fix it. It's the best way to fix it. Okay, let me save these changes, and then we'll go back to the game. By the way, do we know that Not Sure ever landed? Did he make it? I hope he did. Or did he go, like, or is he be right back again? That motherfucker just constantly going be right back. BRB, BRB. Okay, so yeah, you can see here where it actually tried to generate, but it's not. Okay, so we're just going to check in this and this. Resizing St. Helena, not St. Helena, St. Abilene Island. Yeah, it was when I went to St. Abilene last year. When I went to St. Helena last year, it really, that's like when I was like, we need to rename the game. All right, we'll close this. But I got to say that even though a lot of it has been written with the power of AI, I'm pretty proud of the little map site. I'm pretty proud of it. It still has a lot of work to be done. There's still lots of little quirks and stuff, but I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the, like, I don't know why that sample, like, I got to get rid of that. But yeah, no, there's some, I think I like it. There's several of those. Asgar's map generator is actually really good. Asgar's map generator is which is what this came from. let me finish my sandwich and then we'll get started on the game. I'm sorry, Noah 10. If you're new here and the first stream that you view is me eating on this stream, I apologize about that. All right, I've inhaled my sandwich. Let me go pee, and I'll be right back. All right. Okay, boys. Let's enough maps. Maps are for girls, and here we're men. Real men use Unreal. And that's why we're using Unity. All right, let's do this. Oh, wait. We don't even need Unity right now. We were working on our little language. And I got the text nice and big because Not Sure asked me a couple of days ago. He's like, I can't see the text. Can you make it bigger? Because he's an old man. Matthew says, I think you should mix it up and do some Unity stuff. Well, this little mini script language, I think we have a good, we have the bones down pretty well. So I think basically what we should do is clean this code up into something that is easily moved into the game engine. Or do we want to do something completely unrelated? Oh my God, Unity restarted. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm sorry. No, I'm trying to make a good impression for Noah 10, who's not even here anymore, but trying to make a good impression for him. And I'm eating, I'm burping. But next time is going to... No. Okay. Honestly, when I was making that vector map, I should have just been looking at this. You know what? Okay, this is a good thing. Oh, this is... Okay, what is the average height of a man? All right, so the average height of a man in meters. 1.7. We're gonna go with 1.72 meters. Let's keep that. Let's write that down. Average male height equals 1.72 meters. Okay. Now, Matthew is 5'8". All right, shorty. Shorty. Little man. What's it like staring at everybody's dick? No, I'm kidding. I'm not that much taller. But I'm a respectable 5'11", thank you. Okay, so what I was saying is that I should have taken this map and actually just kind of like traced over it in the other program, because that would have been the shape. But what I want to do is, how can we do this? I kind of want to get the dimensions of the map. Right? So, and the reason I was asking about the average height of a man is like, I was thinking what I could do is I could look at I could measure in players essentially. Okay, I still don't know why he's in the middle of the map. Didn't we fix this? We did that. I don't know what's going on here, man. Now he's floating. I mean, I know he's going to spawn in like certain spawn points, but that doesn't mean that when he's not like that doesn't mean that in the scene view I want him in the middle of the terrain, right? Like he's respectful. He needs to be treated as such. But God forbid there be an easy way to snap. Oh, I'm about to snap. What the fuck, man? I just want to get him on that pier. That's all I want to do. Oh my God, why is this so difficult? He's still going to be 1,000,000 meters above it. Okay, there. Perfect. All right, we did it. Okay, perfect. Okay. So what I want to do, skill issue, go to hell. Not sure, but definitely average, just like my parents told me. That's why your dad never loved you. I'm trying to download a UE version for work thing, but they don't let you download micro versions. What the fuck? Oh, you mean like a 2.4.3.6 kind of thing? Well. Okay. What was I doing? Okay. All right. Yeah, I need 5.7.3, but there's no option anymore. Only 5.7.4. They don't have any archive. They don't have like an archive download. You know what? I'm going to look for this. I'm going to prove Matthew wrong. Unreal Engine 5.7.3 download. Let's see what we get. download Unreal Engine, and I know how this works. This is going to take you to a generic download page where you're like, you got to download it. Okay, let's see. Unreal Archive. If you're using the Epic Launcher, all versions are there. Open the Epic Launcher, go to Unreal Engine Library. Okay, I think I have that installed. Epic Games Launcher. Oh wait, that's probably not the same thing as the Epic Launcher. Oh, now it wants me to update. Oh, my stars and garters. Try their GitHub page. Let's see. Hmm. Okay, what about this? If we go to... No, they don't have any packages there. All right. Let's see. This is the launcher, which is doing nothing. Okay. Gotta sign in. Can I not resize this? Oh my gosh. Oh, my stars and garters. Oh my God. Just let me resize the fucking thing. That work? No, I don't want to set up. No, maybe later. I don't need to. Okay. Yes, that's correct. Oh, but okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, I agree. No, thank you. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, and now it's going to... Now, oh my God. Okay, so 5.513... All right, maybe you need 5. Okay, so wait, you said you need 573. 573 is not even out. What are you talking about? Yeah, I found the reason why there's no option. So Matthew's sitting here saying there's no option to download 5.7.3. I can see why there's not. Because it's not out. That's why. Oh my God. Let me see. Unreal Engine. What were they saying on Reddit? If you're using the Epic Launcher, all versions are there. Open the Epic Launcher, go to Unreal Engine, then Library. Unreal Engine, Library. On the engine versions, click the plus. Then, next to the number of that box that appears, click the down arrow and select your version. Did they remove that? Is there something I'm missing? Let me check the GitHub. Oh, wait, you have to... New members requesting to join this organization will be added to secondary Epic Games. Read more here. This is too complicated. The plus icon. What plus? Oh, this plus icon. Okay, there we go. There's got to be a way to do this. Epic. No. Unreal Engine 5. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, let's see. Let me see. It's now available. Okay, so let's see. Download engine. Okay. Unreal Engine, download old versions. or download old versions. What do we have? All right, so that doesn't exist. Did you sign up? Did you sign up for their GitHub? I mean, I think it's dumb, but did you sign up for their GitHub? You might have to do that. That looks like the... Oh. I fucking hate software. I hate software. I do. I hate everything about software development except the career it's given me. And except the lifestyle it's given me. The software development has allowed me a very comfortable living and a very comfortable life. Thus far, I am still a young man, so who knows? Who knows? But so I can't bitch about it too much, but oh my fucking God, the way things have gone in the past 20 years from the you got to download an installer for the installer so you can install. It's like you have to go through all these fucking different steps just to install something. Everything now wants its own installer and its own launcher. It's just like, give me the good old days when I could just fucking double click on a .exe file and get a virus like everybody. Like, why do I need an installer for an install? Like, no, stop it. Stop it. I hate it. I hate it. It's awful. You know, I'm going to require an installer to watch my stream. You know what? Just to text me. You're going to have to download an installer, and then it's going to have pop-ups every other day. There's a new version. Do you want to be alerted when there's a new version? Like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Software development is the friends we made along the way. It is. If not for those friends, where would we be? Okay, this. Sorry. That's very unappealing. Apparently I had some projects. I'm going to open up an Unreal project. Your video memory has exhaust. Expect performance. It's because I have a shit graphics card. Never mind. Okay. All right. What do we want to do? Okay. I think what we need to do is compile this into an assembly. And then that assembly can then be imported into the game. So let's start here by adding a new project. Easy. New item. Nope. That's not what I want. New project. We're just going to do new from scratch. I could have done new existing code. Okay, so what is it I want? I believe I want an assembly, but maybe there's something else I want. Let's see. Let me see. ASS. No, wait. I want C#. I know that. All languages. C#. Oh, man, I could do it in C++. There's not a lot of use, and there's that doesn't make... Okay, class library, a project for creating a class library that targets .NET. That sounds more or less like what I want. I thought they used to be called assemblies, but okay. Or Okay, I'm just going to check everything else. Another class library. What's the difference between this one and the first one? A project for creating C# class library, a DLL. A project for creating a... No. Okay, it looks like one is like cross-platform, I guess? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's just keep scrolling down. I think... Okay. So, I think I want this one. And we're going to call it... Mini... I guess we'll just call it mini script. That's kind of what we've been calling it since. Mini script. It's going to go inside of St. Aveline's source. Going to be packaged along with St. Aveline's source code. Project will be created in St. Aveline miniscript. No, it doesn't need to be. I don't want a new solution. I want to add to the solution. Oh my God, why did you oh my God, stop it. I want it to be a sub project. Thank you. I also don't want it with a capital M. I should call it not sure script, since this was his fucking idea. Like NS, not script. No script. I'm just going to stick with mini script. Okay. We're going to use .NET 9.0 because that's what Unity uses, so I've been told. So let's create it. Okay. So we're there. So now we'll go back over to the program. How can I split the view? I just want to split the view. Give me a sec. Okay, I want to split the view. Let me split the view. Split. This is not going to work. No. Why is this so difficult? Split the view. I know you can do this. There we go. Okay. This is what I want. All right. All righty. So, let's start. I mean, really what we can do, just to kind of be a little heavy-handed, we'll organize this in a minute. I do want to organize this better, but we'll just literally just going to cut, paste, and that's not going to entirely work. There's still something we need to do. Basically, we need to... This is where my C# is a little fuzzy. Well, it's just been a long time. I mean, obviously, I know at some point I'm going to... Maybe I do want to rename this to capital M, right? Or that kind of follows the... And then maybe we can just rename this here. Can I? Yeah. Okay. So I want to have that included in this project. I don't remember how to do this. I remember back in the day, you would just simply just be like, oh, hey, just like include the assembly. But nowadays, fuck if I know what to do. Let's see, dependencies. Can I add it somewhere there? Do I even have to since it's in the same solution? Maybe I don't have to since it's in the same solution. I mean, let's just raw dog it and see what happens. Yeah, it's not finding miniscript. It wants to default to miniscript console. So, yeah. How do I... Dependencies. Add project reference. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Booyah! There we go. Okay, but it's still red. It's still a red... Oh, nope! It's not a red squiggly anymore. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, so is this just going to work? That's the question. This is one of the nice things about C#, because if you were in C++ and you were trying to move code into a shared library, well, first of all, is it going to be shared or is it going to be static? A dynamic or static? How is it going to be? How, like, there's just tons of considerations. A lot of those details, they're still there in C#. They're just kind of handled for you. They're just taken care of for you. Good morning, Will Tyler. How are you doing, sir? Okay. All right. Let's see if we can compile. Hey, look at that. We compiled first try. Let's run just to see if we still are running the correct way. Nope. We got an error just like we did yesterday. Didn't we fix this? Okay. Whoa. Just wait a minute. Drinking some coffee and vibe coding. You're not vibe coding. Vibe coding is a misnomer. Vibe coding, that's like, vibe coding is kind of like and saying you're having sex. Like that's what it's like. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm just like sitting by. Like, no, you're jerking one out. You're not having sex. You're jerking one out. Like, you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. I hate vibe coders, mostly because it's shit. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm distracted, but let's... Oh, it was getting here because the stack wasn't empty. Oh. Why wouldn't this stack be empty? Well, let's look at our little program. Our little program, it's... Oh, well, no, it's going to have a bunch of stuff on the stack. So basically what would happen in a real... When you do this... Okay, I see what's happening. So we push three things onto the stack. This function, adjust NPC attribute, will take three arguments. It will take the target, i.e. the NPC. It'll take the attribute or stat to be adjusted. That's the second one. And then it will take the amount of adjustment to do. That's the third one. However, we haven't actually done that. Okay, so let's... Excuse me. let's clean up this code on the right, and then we'll get started with that. But for right now, it is okay, I think. I'm going to rename this. What do I name it, though? I'm just going to name it miniscript.cs. Okay. Actually, it probably should just be a class. I'm going to stick to like, so I should be able to do new. Can I add? Yes. Add new item. Yes, just a file name. Perfect. I'm just going to, okay, we're just going to call it token. Tokens. We're going to put most of the token stuff in this file, right? So we're going to have like public abstract token will definitely go in here. All right, sorry, just distracted over here. All right, we need to revisit this. I don't think we need it at all, because it was really just a debugging mechanism. Tia Zote, my friend, can you prepare a group Discord page, YouTube channel? I want to join you. We have a Discord. I don't know if you're a bot or a Chinese spy, but you are welcome either way. If Matthew is still there and would not mind sharing the link to the Discord, that would be great. But we do have a Discord already, Tia Zote 16. Oh, Tia Zote G7J. We already have a Discord. We are well ahead of you, sir. Well ahead of you. I don't like this pattern. I mean, it works, and I know Will Tyler would just be like, hey, well, the AI said just to do it. The AI, vibe code, it's good. It's good, it's fine. Vibe code. But I don't like it. I don't like it. Can I just do this? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, command token. Link is also in the description. Yes, it is. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Okay, so we have the push command token. We have the push. I'm going to find some other music. I mean, I love this song, but I want to switch it up a little bit. All right. This song reminds me of this song reminds me of Not Sure, because I know he hates this song. All right. Wait a minute. All right, let me pay attention here for a second. Will Tyler says, at some point I want to talk to you about my map app project. I was literally talking about my map app project like for the first hour of this game. Or I'm sorry, of this stream. I was talking because I love maps. But I believe, yep. If you go to here, I'm gonna link you so you can zoom in and you can look at all the little things. And like one day I want this to just be as detailed as Google Earth. Right now it's kind of a mess. But like some things, like you know what a pain in the ass it was to like get a simple label for an island to show up, but not show up when you're out here. It wasn't that big of a pain in the ass, but it was a pain in the ass. Okay. And then like, I'm still trying to like country labels, like, so, and like, I don't know why this is saying sample country. Like, I don't know how that label got there. Anyway. And then like last night I was like, okay, so these are sea routes, but then there's an abandoned sea route here. And I'm like, how do I represent that in a map in a way that makes sense? And obviously there will be some explanation at some point, but right now it's just kind of like with a higher opacity and it's red. So it means that this sea route is no longer viable. Anyway, I'm going to, and then of course we have our island right here. So I'm going to go ahead and link this in the chat, but yes, I know you're doing some other map, like you're doing a map project of the Earth, something to do with the Earth, something with real data. I have a game concept I've been kicking around that is informed a bit by what I've learned from the Finnish fishing map project. You'll hate it because I'm going to AI it, but interesting. Well, what's the idea? Tell us the idea so we can steal it and do it right now. Come on. Let's do it. Just tell us the idea. All right, I got an idea from, like, no, I love like things like the geomap, like GeoGuessr. What a great concept. Just such a simple idea. Boom, done. Yeah, we're gonna do GeoGuessr. Okay. No. Okay, so let me stay focused. I'll have to get into Discord to tell you about it sometime. Too much for YouTube comments. Lame. Okay, I'm just kind of moving everything into, I'm just trying to literally just kind of organize some stuff, trying to remove debug code, that kind of thing. Probably would like some unit tests, but it's really difficult to want to do unit tests on a project where like on your own personal, because it's like it's just laziness. Want to get rid of the info. Okay, so the tokens are in a file. Then what we'll have is a scanner file. And then a parser. Okay. And then this existing mini script, which I think is fine, will, instead of token VM, we'll just rename this to mini script. Mini script VM. We'll just name it miniscript. That's fine. And from there, everything should still work. It's a little better organized. It's still not great, but okay, we had one failure. Info is not, oh, okay. So I still have info somewhere. Okay, so this isn't the debug. Okay, how do I want to do this? Oh, this isn't the main program. All right, yeah. Yeah, you can just do something like Okay. So what we're going to do now, how do we want to do this? Because there's two levels of functionality or reality. There's like two levels of functionality that we're going to need to implement. And I'll explain what I mean by that. We will have to okay, let's go. Let's look at our code, right? This is not the end all be all of the language. Like, I could see other things. Like, let's think of some examples. I can't think of any. Maybe this is the only one I can think of, and this is going to get very verbose, is like push player, push, I don't know, health, call, get attribute, which is going to get the, so you can think of this as this section of code here. Get attribute is going to get the player's health, and it's going to put it on the stack, right? So now you have this value on the stack, and then you could do something like jump how would this work? So let's say down here we have call player dies, and then call player heals. Am I getting ahead of myself? I'm getting ahead of myself. But basically what I'm getting at is you would have a ways to get an attribute and then do some like type of conditional, which is like jump if greater than 0.5, which is saying jump if the player's health is greater than 0.5, but you got to say jump where, right? Like at first I was thinking like, okay, well you could just do like +2, which means like you jump 2 lines down, but that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. But then again, this mini script language in general is fucking shit, and it's not Shore's fault that we're here. It's his fault we're here. I'm so angry at him. So angry. Ooh. I've been fighting something in my lungs for days now. It's better, and I still feel fine. There were a couple of days there where I was really tired, but it won't go away. Like, when is this going to go away? Okay. Let's okay. So what I was talking about, where there's two levels of implementation, right? So I had to like jump if 0 kind of thing or whatever. So these like jump if 0, we would have to implement that, right? That is a feature of the language that would need to be implemented. But then there are things like get attribute or adjust NPC attribute. Those are not features of the mini script language. They are a result of the mini script language, and we have to implement those as well. So that's why I was like, okay, well, yeah, we need to implement that. So what I'm thinking is, what my original thought was, okay, so what we do is we have some type of function table for adjust NPC attribute, get attribute, and we can add to that table as needed. And then the thing I like about that is then you could have multiple implementations of that table. So in the game, adjust NPC attribute will obviously just look at the target variable. It'll look at what attribute, and it'll do the modification. It'll find those game objects. We'll have to wire that in, but it will be wired to modify the actual game objects. But you could also have a stub implementation where adjust NPC attribute just kind of prints something to the console and doesn't really do anything else, that kind of thing. So I like the idea of basically being able to have a stub implementation and then a real implementation, because oftentimes when you're debugging the language itself, you don't necessarily need the actual production implementation. You just need some type of stub to represent it. But so I'm trying to think of like, okay, so how do we actually get that what does that stub implementation look like? So my initial, and I'm just gonna go with my first thought here. My first thought is to add a stub executor. Did you know that executor is a male word? It's for a male executor. The female is executrix. Anyway, I thought that was a fun fact. Also, did you know that blonde is the only word in English that actually has two spellings? BLOND is the male for a male, and BLONDE is for female. Now you know. Okay, stub executor. I don't like the name of that. I don't like the word exec. Stub implementer, stub runner. Okay, so the stub runner is basically what is going to be wired up to execute, to basically do those actual actions. So what does that look like? I don't know. So we got to go over here to the miniscript VM, basically. Okay. Okay, so the push command is actually doing what it's supposed to do. The call command is a little special. So the call command will have to, so I guess the VM would actually have an internal runner. Right? So it's going to look something like this. If we go back to the VM, so this is going to have to implement some interface. No. Okay, let's just make this sloppy for now. Who doesn't like it sloppy? Call runner. that's dumb. Call runner, yeah. Right, and then you have the call runner over here. Now, the runner is going to know if the function is valid or not. But I want this to be a nicer way. How? Oh, man. I know what I want to do. I'm just not sure how I want to do it. Will Tyler, gotta run errands. Catch you later. I love your old historical coding work. It's like it's going to Colonial Williamsburg for coding. Yeah. Good luck with your map project. That's going to have bug built on top of bug on top of bug. So wait, I don't know if you were here, Will Tyler, but I was telling this story where I hope you listen to this real quick. It's going to take 2 minutes. Where because the prices for Copilot are going up tremendously, and so somebody at work was he was kind of like tasked with comparing what it would cost to go from Copilot to Claude. I mean, you might have been here when I told this story already, but so he has this comparison, and he shows how, like, he wrote a little, like, he had AI write a very basic little snake program, very, very basic. And he had both AIs write it. And basically it cost Copilot to, so basically, he kind of like instructed both AIs very similarly how to do it, how to write the snake program. And Copilot churned through something like, I'm making these numbers up, but it was in terms of millions, like 2 million tokens in order to do this. And the chart, okay, let me show you. I'm going to type it out really quick. I know you got to go, but you can wait a minute. The chart was something, I'm going to type it up off screen and I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to show you on screen what it was. It was like, give me a sec. Just give me a minute, okay? God damn it. Stop rushing me. Okay. So let's see. We got this. And then we had over on one side, we had Copilot. And then on the other side, we had Claude. And then let's see. Okay, I'm making a little chart here. This is not the easiest thing. Tokens, I'm making this up. And then, okay, I'm going to put that there. And then there was one more thing, time, right? And then Copilot, let's see, it had something like 2. Okay, again, I'm making this up. I'm almost done. Just bear with me. Claude was like, I'm making this up, but it was in terms of 100. I know you can't see your screen. Just give me a minute. I'm typing this up because I don't want I don't want to implicitly, or I don't want to accidentally introduce biases while I'm telling this story. So I kind of want it all presented at once, right? This was like this. This was something like this, and then over here you had something like, oh wait, that's wrong. And then over here, I remember you had this as well. And then over here you had, these were kind of like roughly, no, this was like that. I know you can't see this. Just give me a minute, okay? This over here was a little bit better. So this was like something like this. And then the real one that management would love, this was like this was like that. And this is the last thing I'm typing. I'm almost there. And then this was like this. Okay, so let me share my screen. This is what you had. So he had the little snake program. Now, Matthew, if you're still there, I want you to take a look at this. And don't say anything just yet, Matthew, but just form some thoughts on this. And the guy who's sitting there comparing the AIs, right? Because, like I said, Copilot's prices are getting ready to go through the roof. Like, I think at the end of May, and then it depends on what your subscription is, Copilot's going to be insanely expensive. So he does this little spreadsheet comparing Copilot and Claude. And this is roughly what the data said. This is roughly it. But he presented this. There's something in this data that he presented as evidence of Claude's superiority. And superiority that supposedly came at a cheaper price. And mind you, both these AIs were instructed to do the same exact thing, write a snake program. And he had like a whole list of features that he gave it, like, should it be WASD controlled terminal program with color? Like they generated the same thing. I shouldn't say the same thing because they didn't generate the same thing. But do you see the issue here? Does anybody and this data was presented as evidence of Claude's superiority. Now, do you know why I pushed back? Can anybody see why I pushed back on that claim? Yep. And Will Tyler hit the nail on the head, the lines of code. And because somehow the preconception was that more lines of code meant more work, meant more better. Like, that was kind of like the train of thought that I could see. And I'm not saying anything bad about this guy. Like, I like this coworker a lot, but I'm going to push back when I see things that like I think are incorrect. And I push back on this because and we were also talking to somebody else who's a non-technical person, like he's the CPO, and so he's sitting there like, oh, this is great. Like, wow, like Claude generated so much more code and it was so much cheaper. And it's amazing. And I'm like, whoa. Let's back up. Like, just because Claude generated nearly 10 times as much code as Copilot does not mean it did 10 times a better job. As a matter of fact, if it means anything, it probably means it did the inverse. If it generated 10 times as much code, it probably did 10 times of a worse job. Because if Copilot was able to accomplish the same thing with a 10th of the code, that is a lot better than 12,000, like 2,500 lines of code to do the same thing that 12,000 lines of code can do. Like, I know which one I want to maintain. Now, from a business point of view, I know which one I want to pay for. I know which one looks more pleasing to an accountant. But for an engineer, the 2,500 lines of code looks a lot better. So anyway, but the 12, what's going to happen, and I feel probably already is happening, is you're getting a lot of technical people, a lot of vibe coders that are like, whoa, that maybe they're not doing this exact same thing, but that kind of mentality is what I think a lot of vibe coders have. And probably not you, Will Tyler, since I believe you seem like you have some development background, so you've been around. You're old. I think you're like around the same age as me, so you're an older guy. So you know, but some of the but I think of some of the newer people. We had a guy, I don't know if I talked about this guy, and I kind of feel like I should talk about this on a members only stream, but I'm going to talk about it now. We had a guy he's this young guy who apparently went to management, and like I know this because I'm close with his manager, and also like his management budget affects mine. And anyway, but this young guy, he's like 25, 26 years old. He goes to the manager and he's like, "I'm the top 1% of ChatGPT users. I know more, like, because we had some AI consultant come in and like try to like tell us how to like do AI, and it's just like, oh God, leave us alone. But this young guy, so he comes in and but he literally says he's the top 1% of ChatGPT users, whatever the fuck that means. And then but he was saying he was not getting paid enough. Now, this is a guy I have met with him many times. Like I kind of gave up after a little while because he's building these prompts in ChatGPT. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, you go to ChatGPT and you can create these projects, and like you create a project and you add some data to it, and then you can ask it questions relevant to the data. Cool, I guess. I mean, it's cool, but I remember like this one meeting I'm on with him, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're showing me these prompts where you added you basically just attached our documentation to the prompt or to the project, and now you're able to ask the AI questions about our documentation. Cool, okay, but I'm like, where's the product? Like, I kept asking him, where is the product? Where is what are we like? How do we sell? Like, how can we sell this to are you suggesting that like we sell a subscription to customers and then tell them to log into ChatGPT to use the product? Like, no. Like what? Like, okay, you're uploading a bunch of our documentation to ChatGPT and having ChatGPT tell you things about it. Where's how are we making money? What are we doing to make money? And it's just like, well, I trained a lot of this. And so, but anyway, but he goes to, and so I was on a meeting with him and the product manager. And I had this idea. I was like, you know what you could do to this guy? Like, I'm on this meeting, the three of us. And I'm like, you could have, just like you could automatically scan RSS feeds for certain news things. And then when you see certain, train the AI such that when certain things happen in the news, then it generates this content for our product. And that automatically gets pushed out to our repository so customers can optionally subscribe. Like, I thought that was a cool feature. I don't want to get too much into what we do, but it's basically just generating content from the news. I'm generating cybersecurity content from the news. And I'm like, that sounds like a pretty cool idea, right? Like, if there's a new attack, a new vulnerability, we can use AI to scan the news articles or whatever technical articles about that vulnerability, and then automatically come up with some type of alert in our system so that if we see somebody trying to exploit that vulnerability, boom, we get an alert. That's a product. That is a product. Not, well, you could go to ChatGPT and I can ask it all kinds of questions. Like, that's not a product. No, that's not a product. So anyway, so that product that I just described, I was like, man, I'm thinking in my mind, like, I wish I had time to work on that, because that sounds actually like a fun project. That actually sounds really cool. So I guess about 3 or 4 weeks later, his manager, who I'm buddy with, like, his manager calls me. He's like, you'll never believe what he said. He said, because so the kid is supposed to work on the thing that I mentioned that we kind of, and then we fleshed it out more, but he was supposed to work on that. And then like one other thing, the kid literally told his manager, yeah, I've been thinking about it and I just don't get paid enough to work on that. So I'm just not going to work on it, because I don't feel that my salary is really in line with the type of work that I'm doing. And I'm just like, oh, wow. And so I told his man, I was like, you need to fire him. Like, it's like, I understand where the kid is coming from, but that's not how you approach it. You don't tell your manager, I'm not going to do that work. No, you may not just do it. I mean, if you're going to like take some type of protest, to just keep your mouth shut and don't do the work. Like that's how you do it. But to literally tell your manager, I'm not going to do this. No, you can't have somebody that does that. No, you fucking fire him. That's the response, because he thinks he has like this leverage because he's the top 1% of ChatGPT users. And it's like, dude, like, what have you produced since you've been here, what have you produced that like a customer has ever asked for, or a customer has ever said like, wow, no, that's an awesome feature? Nothing. So it was just like, yeah. Will Teller says I would absolutely fire him. Yep. That's what I recommended his manager do. And I believe what's happening is we're hiring a replacement, but like I wouldn't even bothered hiring a replacement. I would have just done it right then and there. Like, I mean, like, because it was like the way I explained to his manager is like in terms of the entire engineering department, there are certain people that are a must-have, right? There are certain people where like if they came to me and they were like, I'm not making enough money, I'm thinking about leaving, like I'm going to be like, okay, we need to figure out what we need to do because we need this person to stay. We need this person. There are certain people that are must-haves. I would argue that really nobody's a must-have because really anybody but whatever. Maybe must-have isn't the right word, but there are definitely people that you want more than others. But I would call the top tier people, I would call them must-haves. Whereas this kid, he's like a nice to have. Like, yeah, sure, it's nice to have somebody doing that work. Are we going to fall apart without him? No, I'll be just fine. So I believe he is getting fired. But yeah. Anyway, all right, Will Tyler, go do your chores. I'm going to call it a stream. Yeah, we did lots of good work today. Actually, I think I'm going to check this into GitHub and then maybe work on this on my laptop some. But right now, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to enjoy this nice weather before it starts to get too hot. I'm going to go on a nice long walk. So talk to you guys later. I may be back on later today. I may be back on tomorrow. If not, I'll definitely see you Monday evening. All right. Bye, boys.